What's up, guys? Welcome to the Rhino Energy Podcast, where we interview entrepreneurs and talk about their life journey, what's got them on the path that they're currently on, and where they're headed. So today we got Shannon Bingham. Welcome, Shannon.
Thank you so much.
So excited to have you here.
Yeah.
Shannon's got all this stuff going on, which I love because, as you guys know, that's what we're all about. Right now, she is focused on her book.
Yes.
Which launches in January.
Yes.
It's December 1st as of this recording. So that's coming up.
Yeah, I know. Omaha Magazine is putting into production, so I'm super excited to be taken care of by their team, and they've been absolutely amazing.
Awesome. So what's the book title?
The book title is Ultimate Impact, I think. We're still working on all of the things right now. So there's the subline that I haven't completed yet, but I've got the acknowledgments done and the bio, so there's some good stuff that's coming out.
So what's the premise of the book?
So it's really about your ultimate impact and the purpose of your life and how to find and discover your purpose. It comes with a complimentary or free online piece that you can also buy that helps you discover your purpose if you don't know what yours is. I know in the last 5 years I've taken kind of a journey of self and really decided to get involved with the community even deeper than I ever have been. And so I think during that time, it was really fun to discover all of the things that I was passionate about. And it definitely levels you up when you go into that environment of like creativity and joining with your community. So
that's awesome. So what does impact mean to you?
What are you doing to cause the ripple effect? When you throw like a stone in the water, how much does that get to? I mean, the bigger the stone, obviously, the more ripples happen. So for me, I'd like to make, at least a little bit of waves. So one day when someone's at my funeral, like, if it wasn't for her, man, I would be, and I have people that come up to me and say those things sometimes, and it doesn't, I don't do it for those recognition or the accolades, but I know that at that point what I'm doing means something, so.
Yeah, just inspire the next generation and those still yet to come. That's great. Impact is huge. I didn't realize that what I was doing was to create impact. Like, I didn't have that in my vocabulary. I knew I wanted to create and I wanted to influence, but I didn't realize impact was the actual goal for so long. And then as I've been along this entrepreneur journey the last couple years, I realized that financial prosperity creates impact. And I used to have this stigma about money and financial success because of the way I was raised, and then a couple of my coaches were like, well, what is money? First of all, money's just made up. It's just
100%.
It's not real. In addition to that, it helps us create greater impact to further our influence, to make those ripple effects and create more people like us that are going to then create their impact as well.
Yes.
And so I think that's awesome.
That's the goal. And I think for 22 years I've owned the business that we created here in town called Seven Salon, and now we've added a boutique to it. And 22 years ago when I started it, one of the main premises was to have an impact on the community. Those words are literally in my first handbook. And so over the years, we've had multiple times where we've been able to pour back into the community and really show up in ways that maybe not all businesses do. And just recently, I was asked to speak at a Millionaire Masterminds convention. And it was with a bunch of like tech people, tech businesses and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, where do I fit? Here I am, this hairstylist, this salon owner coming in, and but what I came in saying was, what are you doing to impact the community with the businesses that you have? Because a lot of them were talking about turning and burning businesses and, what's your next move as an entrepreneur? And like, you guys have to be also community minded because all the impact happens there, and it really turns your staff around as well, because then the team wants to give and the team wants to do more. So I think that's your impact, So it's good stuff. Yeah,
micro and macro level.
Yes.
Totally. That's beautiful. So, I mean, you guys, like, getting your hair done is therapeutic. And then I imagine being in control of that situation is therapeutic for you as well. I know we talked a little bit about, I asked you, when are you going to step away from the chair? And you said, never.
No, yeah, that's a challenge for me. My business partner did, and she's actually not obeyed her own rules of retirement. She has touched back of the chair a couple times, but I personally, I love it. My body still works right now, so I'm going to still continue to do it. And I love being able to be involved with the lives of my people that are in my chair, you know, the clients that I serve. I think that it's important to stay connected also for my team, because honestly, I think that it keeps relevance, even though, you know, I can be relevant however I want to be. But for me, I like to be in it and learning alongside them so that it's not just them and me. It's a together thing. So I don't know if it'll ever happen. I'll probably be 85, still behind the chair.
Being front lines is so fun.
Yeah.
That's where so many people view you, especially now with your, all you've got going on with the pageantry things, and they view you as this giant icon, which you are, but they don't realize that you're also just a human being that's been exactly where they are currently. Yeah. And so they put this, a lot of people create separation between people like us, and they don't realize that we just want to, totally, yeah. And so I do love being on the front lines for that reason, because it's like,
you get your hands in the dirt.
Let's just hang out. We're just human beings. Yeah. We're all trying to create the same impact. We have different experiences and maybe a little bit more resources from our connections that we've made, but now it's like, we're all on the same team. We're all trying to collaborate together for the same goal. Or even
our lived life experiences too. I think that's part of the book, that I wanted to make sure that was involved with this book that I've created, because I want my stories to be in there too, because I've been through so many different things that people probably don't even realize. And that also helps to connect and also create that sense of camaraderie, like you've been there, you're a comrade in this struggle. You're not just untouchable. You're not just, somebody I can't relate with. You're relatable. And the stories are what really bring us to being real. And I can tell you, some of the stuff that I've been through is some real struggles. So, and still to this day, we go through some real struggles. So I think putting those on paper and so people can see them, obviously being mindful of who you're speaking of, I think it's important that those lessons that we've learned, can hopefully help someone get through their lessons that they're learning.
Yeah, totally. A bunch of my coaches talk about how your greatest impact is talking about your biggest failures. And it's not really a failure, it's just it's a bump in the road, a pivot, great word. I love discussing this because I'm constantly sharing my message. As most of I'm a felon, and I've gone through rehab and all sorts of counseling in order to get where I am at today, but it didn't come without a decade of just face planning, and I just couldn't figure out how to pick myself back up. But then I realized I was always picking myself back up, but I wasn't, there was no runway. I was just tripping over brick after brick after brick. And now we've got a runway smoothed out so that we can actually take off and start flying. So is there one moment in particular, or maybe a season in your life where it was just rock bottom, and then you didn't realize in that moment it was the best thing you absolutely needed?
Oh, I think there's a lot of those. A divorce, lack of being able to get pregnant. I mean, all the different things that you get in life, or closing a salon, because we had a second location, going through COVID as a salon. That was another one. Trying to manage as a business owner when your business partner gets cancer. Just the life things that happen and that you just work through. I remember during COVID when they told us that we needed to shut our salon down and we wouldn't be able to do what we do. And the government saying that to us, it was like, you're taking away literally our lifeline. So how do you go? And my business partner was losing it at the time, and all of the salon owners in town, we were all just kind of collaborating at that point to try to come up with ways to keep each other alive, And I remember saying, this is just a pause. So if we can just look at this as a pause, literally, we don't have any outgoing bills, we don't have any rent right now, we don't have any payroll, we don't have any, it's just a pause. We're not in, there's no out. It's we have to look at it differently and know that what we're doing is just, we get a break. Okay, So we looked at it like that, even though that was not what we wanted as a business, obviously. So we were able to kind of rise above a lot of the challenges during that. But it was about attitude and about how you looked at the circumstance. And when you're so ingrained in what maybe God's will is for your life and stuff, if He takes something away from you, or make something pivot like that, then you know that it's probably for your best. So,
That's
and, you know.
awesome. That's a good point, though. We are often so in this rat race, in a rush to accomplish and achieve and make impact. And sometimes the best way to make an impact is by taking a break and letting all the things that we've been cultivating continue to flourish without our hands in them and see what happens.
Yeah, see if anything swims. Yeah, I agree. And I think even this last weekend, I had a few days where I didn't really do anything, which was unheard of. And everybody's constantly like, you're doing so much. How do you sleep? I sleep 100%. But putting that out there isn't necessarily a positive thing, because it looks like, you know, a certain way to certain people, and you want to make sure that you're still showcasing balance and knowing that the things that you're doing are creating impact, but then you're showcasing the balance as well. So in the book, I talk a little bit about that as well, because I don't want anyone to think that I'm a superhero, because I am not.
Well, it's debatable.
No, for real. There's days where I can't get off the couch, which is not normal. And it's funny because I did get sick when I came back from the UK just recently, and my son and daughter walks in the house and they saw me still on the couch and they're like, "Mom, like you're still on the couch." I'm like, "It's fine, you guys. That's when you know I need a break." So, you know, just teaching that even to my kids, because it's not always about going, and it's also about slowing. So,
yeah, I find that super difficult.
We have an Energizer Bunny. Like, we just keep it going, you know, just more to do.
There's so much opportunity.
Yes.
It's so hard when you can see what it has the potential to become to not take full advantage of that.
Yeah.
And so it is difficult to slow down and realize, okay, I am human.
Yes.
I can't go all the time. I get that from people all the time too. Like, do you sleep? You're posting statuses at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, sometimes something hits me in the middle of the night when I gotta go pee, and then I just post it, and then I'm back to sleep.
Yes.
But so social media has been a huge part of your impact and your branding. And how many pages are you running right now?
I honestly think that on Instagram, I think I have 10 pages.
That's insane.
It's okay.
It's okay.
I have it mastered. Like, I know what I'm doing with each, and I know kind of when's posting and when I need to post. And honestly, like with the pageant, you know, I'm the international reigning queen for this company called Ultimate International Miss. And so for that page, I have to post 3 times a week. It's contractual that I actually have to do that. So I know exactly what I'm going to post. It's either going to have to be with what I'm doing in the community, or which is cross-posting if I can, or I'm going to post something about the pageant. So
they'll build on each other.
Yeah. And I can always, you know, but TikTok and the algorithm, or Instagram and the algorithm, they like original content. So there's been times where if I'm sharing too much, it'll kind of calm down some of the views on some of the things that I'm posting. So I have to be careful with collaboration, and I have to be careful with sharing stories from another page too often. Interesting.
I find that difficult because there's so much stuff that I'm consuming from the people that I follow that is such gold that I know my followers need to see.
Yeah.
And so I'm always sharing. I don't even really care about the algorithms.
No.
So
if people want to see
I share those to my story.
Yeah.
For my page is different, but the stories always look wildly different than my actual individual pages. I coach all my clients on just use your page. You are your brand, your company, all that stuff. You don't need it. You first focus on you, build you out, and then once you've got a team of people, then you could start to branch out and have these individual pages. But you do it all just you. Did you start out with just your brand, or did you build your company first? How did you do it?
Well, you know, we started the company before Facebook was even born. So 2 weeks after I opened the salon, in February, was when the Facebook was announced.
Wow.
Yes, and that was only on campuses. So really, we didn't have anything social media-wise whenever it came to the salon. So we had MySpace. That was like it. So then we moved into the Facebook probably in 2000, I would say 7 or 8. Because I remember my college cousin, he messaged me asking me if I was okay after the Von Mar shooting. So I know kind of approximately when, because that was the first DM I ever got, like, was from him. And he's gone and he's passed away now. But, you know, that was so memorable for me because it was like, what is a direct message or private message was back then. So, but yeah, building a brand without social media was something I think I'm proud of, because it was word of mouth. It was, the Reader. Back in the day, we would get in that little magazine they had, or that newspaper, or Medium magazine was another one we used. We were doing shows all over town all the time, and I was on stage doing hair for that. And, you just build your brand word of mouth, and that's really hard to do anymore because people just believe what's online. Even more so. So now I've obviously built up the following on our Facebook, built up our following on Instagram with the salon, and I do have somebody that is in charge of my salon brand at this point. So she was in Hawaii. I was watching her journey with social media there. So when she came back, I was like, I need to have a meeting with you. And she's like, I don't want to do hair anymore. I'm done doing hair. I was like, it's not about hair, honey. So meet with me. And so I hired on Ellie at the time, and she's taken my brand over on Seven. So Seven's boutique and the salon has been done by her in the last, I'd say probably 3 years, which is nice, but I still have my hand in it. I still watch over it and make sure, approve things, because, what she's doing, I just, still has to have our hand in it. So, but the rest of it, it's all what I do.
That's awesome. And so we were talking about this a little bit earlier with, do you feel like who you are on social media is the exact same thing as in person?
Yes. As much as it can be. I mean, and the pictures I put up, or the dresses I'm wearing, or the pictures that I put up, or where I'm at. So I try to be as authentic as I can be. And one of the questions I got on stage for, it was actually a winning question. It was 9.7 is what the score was. They were really excited about that for the pageant. But the question was, what makes you memorable? And that's a really tough question for anyone. So what makes you memorable? You think about that, you're like, ugh. So I said, well, something must make me memorable because I have over 50,000 collective followers online that seem to think I know something. And then I went on, and how I show up is how I show up. I'm not covering tattoos when I'm on stage for pageantry. I'm going to show up with tattoos, so if you don't like them, I'm not going to cover them every time I go somewhere. So, I think showing up authentically online is very key. I think there's a lot of influencers out there right now that are pretending that they are somebody that they're really not. Or, some people want to try to get to a place they're trying to be at by doing the path the rough way, right? So I don't know. For me, I just built it from the ground level and hoped people liked it.
Well, and the more you show up authentically, the more you'll gain your tribe that follows you, that buys you, that consumes you, that promotes you.
Yep.
And so I think that's the most important thing. People try to be something that other people want them to be, but that changes rapidly. Everybody's emotions and desires are always shifting, so you can't keep up with everybody's desires anyway. So it's pointless.
No.
I've had a couple of my coaches, so I'm super high energy online, and my reels and a lot of what I post and my pictures. It's so fun. I love it. But when usually in business settings or these type of environments, it's a lot more of a, I don't know if you want to say controlled, but just mellow. I'm more engaged. Yeah. And you're good. We're not live.
You're not?
No.
Okay.
You're good.
Not gonna ruin it.
No.
You can be on if you want. So, good.
So they view it as oh, are you really always like that in person all the time? And it's when I'm in a more professional environment, or I'm having an engaging, stimulating conversation, I listen and I ask it questions. And of course, when I need to be in the spotlight, I step up and I'm in the spotlight. But I'm doing so much more stuff behind the scenes. Yeah. But because they just are consuming you and they see your face and they see you talking, they assume that that's just always how it is.
What you want.
Yeah, but and that's fun too, because you got to lead from the front and from the back.
Yes.
You can't just do one or the other. The most effective leaders are doing the stuff, on the front lines, and doing the high level things also, because that's how you gain respect, and that's how you
connections.
And like you said earlier, it makes you people really follow you in the sense of oh, you're still humanizing yourself, you're still on my level. It's not, you're not just all the way up here. But it's so fun because when you go back down the front lines, you have so much confidence, and you just go boom, 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 and you're asking the perfect questions. You're getting straight to the point instead of you don't have to wiggle around the path anymore. You're just straight to it, and people are like, how did you do that?
Yeah, that's so true. I think people also have to be told at a 4th grade level, and I hate saying that because it's kind of demeaning, but really what, people still don't know that I won a pageant. or they still don't know that I have a boutique. They still don't know. It's like you have to post it. They said like 144 times before someone actually realizes you have that connection. So I feel like there's a lot of posting that needs to be done for people to really understand. And you think in your head people are getting tired of it, but half the time people aren't even seeing it. So you just have to keep posting until someone's like, oh my gosh. And then you start to be known for what you're doing because you've posted so much and everyone's like, you must know something. So then you move into it. And then you're golden at that point. So, but yeah, 144 times, that's a lot.
Well, and you got to validate yourself first.
Yeah.
Like no one's going to follow you if you don't even follow your own self.
It's terrifying to post. And you were saying today, I think it was, like, just make the post.
Yeah.
It's scary, it sucks. It's like you're second guessing yourself. You're wondering if anyone's going to care. There's times where you delete things that you're just not really sure is going to be appropriate. Or catch, might not hit right. Or if it doesn't do well, post it again and see if it does well.
Usually the dumbest stuff is what goes viral.
100%.
The stuff that I'm like, this is going to be fire and everyone's going to love this, gets 2 likes. I'm like, what the heck? What happened there? It's every time. I'm like, it's so frustrating. But it also,
it doesn't like knock your confidence down.
No, not at all. It makes me laugh every time.
Yeah.
But like you said, like the 4th grade level stuff, people resonate with simple things way differently because when unless somebody's in a similar space like we are, you're then educating and they're able to, they're consuming it because they want to learn more. But the majority of the population is not doing it out of education, they're doing it for entertainment purposes.
Right.
And so when you can speak to them on a 4th grade level, they get it and they actually get that education better because you simplify it.
100%. I remember somebody said to me not too long ago, I had spilled some of my matcha in my SUV, like everywhere in the middle console. And I was like, filmed it. You know what I mean? I was
yes.
like, filmed it. And I was like, this is dumb. And then so many people saw that. And they were like, oh my God, that was hilarious. That was relatable. Like all the things. And I'm like, you never comment on anything else I post, but you comment on my spilled matcha?
That is so, this girl, one of my friends posted something of her like double chin. She's like, whenever I look up the camera, this is it. And that blew up.
Oh my God.
But anything super inspirational and thought-provoking, nothing. But I think there's a couple of reasons behind that. Is obviously it humanizes and people can relate to that because that's actually what happens in everyday life to everyone. There are no exceptions.
Yes, I actually like my double chin. Just kidding.
The superhero, but I think that is a part of your superhero abilities is to actually be human.
Yes.
I think that's more what makes you a superhero than pretending that you're perfect.
Exactly.
And the authenticity shines through in everything that you do. And like, I love, like I'll post stuff with like my bedhead first thing in the morning.
Good, yeah.
And that usually gets more likes. Or like I will intentionally post videos of me stumbling on my words instead of editing them all out.
Good.
And to trying to get to the point and all those things. And now, in addition to that, it helps me get better every time I rewatch that stuff. And I post it. So then I'm cognizant of how I'm enunciating things and how I'm verbalizing things. And so then I'm able to actually improve upon that instead of just like, well, it doesn't matter, I'll just edit it all out anyway.
No.
Then I don't get better at becoming a public speaker.
Yes.
You can maybe be a little bit better online, but that's not my goal. I want to actually be
people
in person. I want to have great deliveries on stage.
Yep,
I
you
want
show
to
up
be.
with bedhead on stage. I'm just kidding.
Would I show up with bedhead on stage? No. No.
I mean, I would.
I not unless there was a reason for it.
Like a legit reason.
Like if we were trying to prove a point, then I would.
Yes.
But if you can't even show up put together on stage, no one's really going to follow you.
Yeah, no one's going to listen to you. It's true.
They're going to think I'm drunk again. That's what's going to happen.
Well, perhaps. Might be a vibe. Might be a vibe.
Like, Grant, what happened here?
Yeah.
It was a late night.
I digress.
So you've talked about the pageantry. We've teased us a little bit about it.
Yeah.
And I know this was something that you weren't ever planning on getting into.
No.
This was a total side quest that turned into a mainstream thing.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, you obviously have always been a main character. I don't doubt that one bit.
Maybe.
You know it. Come on.
I mean, sure.
You can't ignore it anymore.
I can't anymore, no. So you have to step in that power, like you have to step into that role. And I think before, in the UK, when I was talking to all the queens that were just about ready to go compete at that level, I was talking to them in a big round circle, and I was like, listen, I said, you guys have to visualize yourself on stage right now, because you're about to go up there, and I want you to close your eyes and literally visualize yourself up there, because you have to step into that power. And there was one particular woman that was there that had been a domestic violence survivor. So she was very scared to give a speech, and she gave her keynote speech, even though it was something that she did not want to do. And because she did that and she actually won that award for that speech. But she ended up, like, I was looking at her when I was doing the round circle, and she was like glowing, like she was ready to go on stage. And I think people, when they get that, I don't want to say acceptance, but she got that little bit of like validation that she needed to be able to be okay with sharing her story and then stepping into that power that she had on stage. And those women just blew my mind when they were up there. I mean, they just commanded the stage like they had owned it for years, and some of them, it was their first time. So
I found too that it's like releasing the expectation. Like once you're like, there's no pressure.
Right.
We're the only ones that put ourselves under pressure.
100%.
And so it's like allowing ourselves, you're like, you know what? If I stumble on my words, that's fine.
Yeah.
And I guarantee I gain way more people, especially as I'm building my brand and my influencer life, whatever you want to call it. Like, this is the stuff that will get people to buy in forever. Whereas if you're just like, until we have, you know, legitimacy, like you've built a salon, you've got proven results over time, and so people follow you because of that, and then you have both, right? So it's not just the authentic side, that's definitely a huge part, but then you've got the business side, and so now you're building multiple followings because of that. So tell us more about the pageant. What's the pageant called?
Well, the Ultimate International Miss is the actual corporation. So there's many, many pageants.
Ultimate International Miss.
Miss, yes. So UIM is what the name is, you know, cutely called. But it is an international title. So there's people that come from all over the world that come and compete for this title. You can either get a title by going at large or an appointed title. So you basically buy the title, or you can go compete somewhere that's near you and actually win the title to go compete at the international level. So it was my first time that I ever competed in this pageant specifically, and I'd never done what they call fun fashion before. I'd done gown and walking on stage, that's all fine and stuff. You know, I can walk in a really high heels. Yeah.
So what is the focus of your organization that you won the crown for?
So the focus is just, the main thing is ultimate impact.
So just
it's
impact.
Literally, that's what they want you to have. That's what they want you to do. Pageantry, I mean, obviously is about the glitz, glam, and the gowns and all the things, but they want you to be a working queen. And I think a lot of times with pageantry, you see people win crowns and they do nothing with it all year. So, and that isn't absolutely not how I work, because I was already working, and I'm going to continue to work even after the crown's off. So for me, it was about really showing them, you know, what I'm able to do and how I can make that a broader, since it's an international title, I need to make sure that I'm working internationally. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So how can our community best support you and everything that you're doing, Shannon?
Well, it's funny because even out there in the UK, they were asking me, how can we support you? I was like, connections. Like, I just need, you know, connected with the right people. One of the people that was my judges at the actual pageant works for the Trump administration. So she's, you know, planning on connecting me with some things that are happening out there with the government and stuff at the White House. And that's kind of one of my biggest goals, is to hit that area.
And you're passionate about foster?
Adoption and foster care.
Adoption and foster care.
My oldest son was adopted. And so he's 18 now. And, you know, it's always been something that we've had big impact to us. Early on with NCHS, which is the organization I partnered with, where I went through to get adoption finalized, they had me on their TV, they had me on things early on. And so they've continued having me be their cheerleader, I would say, for years. So I've been on Channel 7 recently, championing their homecoming week that they have. So I'm always doing something for them. But for me, it's about adoption and foster care. They're not siblings, they're cousins, you know. Foster care is definitely a different beast if you're getting into it, but adoption and that.
One could lead to the other.
Yes.
But.
Yeah, and in 2023, I was able to stand with the governor in the Capitol when he did the proclamation making November recognized as Adoption Awareness Month for Nebraska. So that was like a big moment. My son spoke, and then I spoke, and we actually have the proclamation at home, so it's kind of fun.
That's badass.
Yeah. And
yeah.
You know, he's a
Good
foster.
job.
Thank you. He's an adoptive parent as well. So he really has a heart for kids that are, you know, in the system and stuff. So.
Well, good job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was wild.
Sweet. Well, it was a pleasure having you on. I can't wait to see how we can create impact together, and we'll definitely make sure that our community reaches out to you. What's the best way to follow you on social?
Oh, anywhere. I mean,
all of them.
I will answer to any of them. So Instagram, TikTok. I mean, TikTok's the fun. Instagram's going to have a little more of my life, and then Facebook's just business, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Sweet. All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.